Hi, in this slide we continue on with the interplay of the 5 factors that we talked a few slides back. Leadership, analytics, leadership, core renewal strategy, culture, and then execution. Because of our analytics, we've identified some big core renewal strategy upside, and that's kind of can you envision this catalyst for asking or begging us to retune the culture so we can execute. I mean, sort of a little vision is I want Wally, that's always the name I use for the guy in the warehouse or in the truck, some frontline service kind of guy, to know which customers we're really going after, what the service value equation is for those guys, what Wally can do directly or indirectly to make best perfect service happen for those customers, and why he should care what's in it for him. So he's got that passionate line of sight between this is what I do and this is how it helps the company grow net profits and my gain sharing bonus and job pride, job security, job growth if I want to be promoted from within in a growing company. All those things are possible. Now, some other angles on these 5 factors. Can a great culture save an obsolete or decaying strategy? In very large companies that have strong niche holds, think Kodak, when they had the monster global monopoly on film for cameras, they just made more money than they knew what to do with and so forth, but then the world went digital. So they obviously historically had a very intense, focused strategy and culture, but it was so in a sense strong that it couldn't adapt. And so, but what would happen is the company culture is strong enough and the niche is strong enough that somebody says, look, this isn't working out, and we have time to attract from within, promote from within or from outside, a really first-rate kind of person who can bring in a new fresh strategy to try to make it happen. So in theory, if you had a fantastic culture and a bad strategy, a culture could help you get to the next strategy. But certainly when you're a smaller business, like a distribution branch, and your business is very service intensive because you've got commodities, your niches aren't, your customers can buy the same stuff from a lot of people tomorrow. There you don't have any time. So I don't think that a great culture can save a bad strategy. I think you need both. You need a fantastic, at least a very good enough strategy. You need a good enough culture. When it comes to strategy, I might add that thinking you have a great one or perfect one is a forecasting controlled delusion. But it's not. We don't have to be perfect, and we don't have to be able to forecast the future. All we have to do is be able to have a better, more focused strategy and be culturally more agile and execution than our competitors. So to a certain degree, there are going to be a lot of surprises down the road, but whoever sees them first and can react to them the best and the fastest is going to do better. So there's the quick and the dead. And so we want to have a culture that's agile, that allows us to fill in the gaps where our strategy sort of has missed the target. If we have good local leadership, so think branch manager, and we have a good enough core renewal strategy, have a good enough culture, then any gaps that we have in our strategy, or gee, the economy tanks, how quickly can we adjust these situations? Again, that combination of good leadership, strategy, and culture is going to do a much better job than if we're missing one of those 3 things. Another way of looking at the interplay of these things is if we have this happy little atom of culture ingredients, what will happen is it gives us the ability to hang in there. We have a sort of a persistence to hang in there long enough that all the employees working together can start to make the flywheel really go. To use the analogy of if every one of our employees has got both hands on a big flywheel and we all just push like crazy, we can just barely get it to move. And we just keep pushing and start to push hand over hand, and we start to get the flywheel moving faster and faster and faster. And at some point it's spinning around like crazy, and somebody comes along and asks, gee, what's the one thing that got your flywheel of profit going so fantastically? Well, it's all these employees working their butts off, pushing, giving everything they've got all day, every day, day after day after day. That's really gotten to the point where this is really humming like crazy. So we want to have a culture that attracts and keeps and sort of turns on and keeps people turned on long enough to get the flywheel of our core renewal strategy really going. So we're growing fast industry, making great money, putting the money back in the business, and and getting that self-fueling snowball kind of going. Another way of thinking of these 5 factors is they're multipliers of one another. They're not additive, so they compound each other, and because they multiply each other, if one of these is 0 or weak, the whole equation is 0 or weak. So we have to have above average in all categories, and then try to move off of that base, and things will get better and better very rapidly. And then I'm going to leave with a question of then why do star companies with great cultures fail? We've talked already a little bit about Kodak in the past, but let's look at other companies. I think that there are some distributors out there that have had 20 years, 30 years. They've had a long run of good success. They've grown fast in industry. They're well respected. But is it possible that they have a very strong culture that now is inflexible and not changing with the times, and maybe is planting its own seeds of its demise? Who knows? We'll look at the next slide. Thank you.